Is it starting? Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Exum, and I'm a student at East Carolina University, and I have been working with Angela Perkins with the Interbanks Hotline to try and put together a group within the community who has been underserved by an agency. First off, the title of my presentation is Increasing Relationships with the Hispanic Population in Terrell County. So here, for those of you who don't know, is just a little bit of information about the Interbanks Hotline. They are a domestic violence and sexual assault advocacy program that was established in March 2009 here in Terrell County by Dare County, the Outer Banks Hotline, to provide services to residents of Terrell County. The Interbanks Hotline provides advocacy and assistance for victims and families affected by domestic violence and sexual assault in Terrell County. They do make referrals if people from other counties come, but they do try and mainly just work with the residents of Terrell County. They provide education and prevention resources to schools, organizations, and businesses in Terrell County. If you are at all interested in having them to come out and talk to your organization, you can always contact them to let them know. They love to do presentations, so they're always willing to come out. They also operate a thrift store to provide an opportunity for residents to purchase items at lower prices, as well as a location for residents to donate gently used items. So they're kind of giving back to the community as well in that sense. Here is some statistics I found. The Hispanic population in Terrell County in 2011, according to the U.S. Census, was 5.4% of their population. And it doesn't sound like a big number, but it is a growing number. And out of 4,000 people, 4,500 people, 5% is not that small. And also, that's the people who actually took the census. So, keep that in mind as well. After talking to Ms. Perkins, I found out that as of from March 2009 to present, that the Interbanks Hotline had served 74 clients, and only 6 of those clients had Hispanic origins. So, that's not even 1 out of every 10 people coming in. So after hearing those numbers, I decided to start doing some research on why these numbers are so low and why they're different than the normal people the other people who are coming into the agency and seeking services. Which what I did find with talking with Ms. Perkins is that the majority of their clients are white females. They have probably had out of that number, probably about 15 African American female clients, and then the 6 Hispanic clients, and then the other percentage after that is all white females, except for 2 males, and they have 1 white male and 1 African American male. So this information is why specifically women from the Hispanic background. The website that I used the term Latinas, so I'll use that for the rest of the presentation. So, let me pause it. Do you want me to pause it so you can see that? I'm such a leader. Okay, so some reasons why they would say is a strong sense of culture keeps Latina women from betraying long-standing values. Those who step outside of these norms shame not only themselves, but also their parents, their grandparents, their cousins, their aunts, everybody. And so their family obligations always come first in the Hispanic community. No matter what you're going through, you have to think of your family first, is kind of what I gathered. So the next reason is a Latina who can't keep her family together is considered a failure. Some women may stay with an abusive husband or boyfriend just so she doesn't have to disclose her situation to her relatives or to her family, because you keep up appearances. It doesn't matter what's happening inside your house, what's happening or you don't tell people outside of your house what's going on. So also, a lot of Latina women are deeply religious and may believe that a violent spouse is just their cross to bear, and they just need to basically just do it. That people before them have gone on and done much more than they ever had, and they didn't have the resources that these women have today. So an additional pressure, though, is also the Catholic Church, and many Hispanic women are Catholic, and so there's that ban on divorce and that you'll go to hell, and so, then nobody wants to go to hell. So, also, Latinas without economic resources must often rely on public service providers, and but especially in Mexico where they're from, or in Hispanic countries where they're from, the people who are supposed to protect them are also the ones who are taking advantage of the situation, and who are just as bad as their abuser at home. So, and then when they're here, there's a language barrier, which kind of leads into the next one, which community outreach in Spanish around domestic violence issues is almost non-existent. And it is hard to get things in both languages and get them in all your different locations. So, keeping that in mind. And then also you have some Hispanic women who marry a U.S. citizen, and that man may manipulate and control his immigrant wife by threatening to have her deported if she complains about his violence. So there's that threat. And then if you have children on top of that, you're going to be deported and you're going to be away from your children. And I would say that even the Hispanic men use that threat against of deportation, or I'll turn you in, or to kind of keep their women in place. He may, if it's a U.S. citizen, he may coerce her to stay with empty promises of filing her residency papers, so she doesn't have to worry about being deported. If you stay with me, this won't happen. I'll do this for you. And in Mexico, there's a law called, I'm probably going to mess this up, but Ambando de Hogar, which basically they punish women who leave their home. They get in trouble even if they're just fleeing violence. It's called something. It's called. Let's see. I thought I had it. It's basically it breaks down to abandoning the home, and when these women leave, then they get in trouble. They get put in prison, and that's in Mexico especially. And some women still have that state of mind when they come here to America that can happen to them. So I've come up with some strategies maybe to try and help the Interbanks Hotline do more outreach with the Hispanic community and increase their numbers. I said increase information in areas more frequently visited by the Hispanic population. I know that there's a store here in town that they can buy groceries at, and that that is right across on the main drag that quite a few of them go to. And then also have forms and information in the office available in Spanish. I know Ms. Perkins told me they are trying to do that more. That they had talked to a translator who said that she would be interested in helping with translating information. Also providing culturally sensitive information, and that goes back to the slide before and the information that's on there about thinking of that not everybody thinks the same way that we do, and here in America not everybody's raised the same way as you and I. So it's important to provide information that keeps the culture in mind. Increase the number of Hispanic response team members and volunteers. I noticed that there's not many that volunteer or who are on your coordinated community response board. So, and I know that you guys have just hired somebody for that, so they're going to work on getting more members from the Hispanic Latino Advisory Council. Also provide staff with opportunity to take conversational Spanish courses at a local community college, so that way they can interact more with your Hispanic clients, and if you do have someone come in, you don't have to worry about having a translator as much. And then train them for law enforcement, because the Hispanic women are, they feel threatened, they feel scared, so making your law enforcement more understanding of that fact. And some organizations to utilize, of course, Interbanks Hotline, and then the Martin Terrell Washington Health Department. That would be someone or a group that might be beneficial. I know that they have 2 women there who speak Spanish. The Columbia High School Spanish Department, I don't know if the teacher would be interested in helping out. The Department of Social Services, just making them more aware of various things. InStep, which is a program at the state level, but they have different classes that they offer for empowering women of Hispanic origins as well as African American women. So that might be something they provide. Employment counseling, job placement assistance, and life skills training to U.S. born and non-Hispanic immigrant female survivors of domestic violence. And they also can help with women who are fleeing domestic violence, fleeing a bad situation. The next thing is PARE, P-A-R-E, and that stands for Program of Assistance, Resources, and Education for Victims of Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault. This program is part of El Pueblo, and it was created to inform and educate the Latina community about assistance, resources, and education to victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. And they partner with the Coalition Against Domestic Violence as well as the Coalition Against Sexual Assault. And then I said the Terrell County Hispanic Council, as well as Cooperative Extension, the Sheriff's Office, and then Legal Aid of North Carolina can help with things like U visas and information like that. So here's my resources if anybody would like this information. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Thank you very much for allowing me to come in and speak to you today.
My mind went blank. I did want to ask, what was the last one you found that was a